evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. How you doing? Welcome to episode number 2 of 4th and 25. I'm your host, J Ram. Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday out there. Hopefully some of you are drier than we are. I think it's rained for like on and off 5 straight days here. It's crazy. But welcome in, guys. So busy weekend, obviously. Most importantly, we got the draft going on as we speak right now. I believe it's in the fourth round. We'll talk some about that here in just a little bit. But first and foremost, here we are always college football number one. So obviously, the spring portal still going on. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of players have made moves to new homes. Teams have moved up and gotten some key needs. Um, Interesting. Very first one that caught my attention, if you remember, do you all remember the Nico situation at Tennessee? He takes off to UCLA. Well, how ironic. It's almost like these teams traded quarterbacks. Uh, Nico goes to UCLA. Well, Joey Aguilar, who was a really good quarterback at Appalachian State, he jumped in the portal, went to UCLA, but now he's going to Tennessee. So it's like they swapped quarterbacks. And I've heard people talk about this. Wouldn't it be hilarious if UCLA and Tennessee somehow met in a bowl game this year? I think that would be quite funny since they swapped quarterbacks. Of course, both would probably opt out if they're going to go to the draft, but who knows? But anyway, interesting story there. Another player I made note of, Joe Cotton. He was the number one FCS player, big old offensive tackle from South Dakota. He jumped in. He's off to Cincinnati to boost up the Bearcats' offensive line. Um, Syracuse receiver Trevor Pina, all ACC performer. He's still in the portal. Have not seen where he's going yet, unless that's been updated, but we'll check here in a minute. Linebacker Elo Mendoza from Army, really good player for the Black Knights. He hit in the portal. Guess where he's going? Georgia to help the dogs out. Big get for Georgia in the portal, and now he's from the Southeast, so he gets to come back home. Let's see, tackle Merritt Watson, a really good player, another Syracuse player who jumped in the portal. He transferred. He's off to Texas. Tight end Jack Indras, he's from Cal. He's going to Texas. So that's a couple of players, some players that have made moves this week. Let me pull this up real quick. We'll look at a few more while we're on here. I don't know why my phone was being slow. Sorry about that. Let's see. A couple other guys who've made moves this week I have not mentioned. Oh, defensive end Bo Atkinson. We talked about him last week, the North Carolina defensive end. He jumped in the portal. He's going to Ohio State, and they need help on the D line and their pass rush because they obviously lost so many good guys from last year's national championship team. So big get for the Buckeyes there. Let's see. Yeah, Trevor Pena still has not announced where he's going. For those who don't remember, that is the player from Syracuse who wanted more money and wanted more intake on coaches' meetings and stuff. That led to Coach Fran Brown saying no. Elam Mudaz, that's the Army kid. Let's see. We talked about Watson. Let's see. Oh, DB Jeremiah Wilson was a pretty good player for the Cougars last season. He jumped in the portal. He's off to Florida State to help out their secondary. Another Houston DB safety, AJ Halsey. I hope I said that name right. He's in the portal. He's going to be. He hasn't announced yet. Okay. As of this. Okay. A G5 player that was highly coveted, defensive end TJ Bush Jr., a really good player for Liberty last year as a sophomore, 9.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, all conference USA performer. He's going to Cal. They need help because they have been hit hard this portal. Cal has been gutted, so that's a big time get. Michael Hudson, the Texas A&M receiver, I think he was at Texas A&M for 5 minutes, but he was highly coveted at Texas Tech. He was their biggest recruit ever, and he is still unsure yet. He's still looking for a home. Remember, you have a deadline to get in the portal, but you don't have a deadline to announce where you're going. So, Xavier Hill, we talked about him last week. Oh, and Tanner Kazol, I hope I said that name right. I'm bad with names. He was a tight end at Ball State that had a really good career. Then he went to Wisconsin for like 20 minutes. And now he's got a new home. He's going to Houston to play for Willie Fritz for his final year of eligibility. Let's see a couple more while we're on here. Another G5 player, Julian Neal, DB out of Fresno State, got a year left. He, let's see, get a little input on him real quick. He only allowed 12 catches for 159 on 33 targets last year for the Bulldogs. He's off to the SEC. He's coming to Arkansas, so a little pickup there for Sam Pittman's secondary. Another offensive tackle, Markel Samuel at Appalachian State. He'll be a sixth-year senior this year. He was a all Sun Belt performer for the Mountaineers last year. He's off to Oklahoma State with Mike Gundy. Let's see, before we get out of here, BYU receiver Keelan Marion, he's in the portal. Defensive end Ja'Kai Lang from Missouri, he jumped in the portal. He's still got 3 years of eligibility. He's off to SMU. Let's see. Oh, and quarterback Steve, I hope I said his name right, Angeli, Notre Dame kid who helped lead them past Penn State last year in the Orange Bowl in the semifinal. He's going to Syracuse. So Syracuse has got their quarterback. Big get there for the Orange. Nicely done by Coach Fran Brown and his group. Okay, so one thing I did here, I'm going to talk about a few teams who have moved up and have had a really good portal season. Let's see. Oklahoma State, they have moved up. They brought in running back Freddie Brock from Georgia State. They brought in receivers Christian Fitzpatrick from Marshall, Cam Abshire from small school Emory and Henry. We talked about Markel Samuel, the tackle. Let's see. Defense, they brought in Demarion Thomas from Vandy, a couple of edge rushers, Wendell Gregory from South Carolina, Taj McCoy from Colorado. He's coming in. Let's see. Texas, they always work the portal really well. Like we just talked about, they added Cal's Jack Andrews. Emmett Mosley from Stanford, we talked about that last week. He's coming in at receiver. Let's see. They even upgraded at the kicker position as Mason Shipley comes in from Texas State. They also got Maryland transfer Lavon Johnson at DT mere hours after he had committed to North Carolina, and DT Murd Watson from Syracuse that I just talked about. Sorry for being slow there, guys. Okay, so North Carolina, they've had to, because they had double-digit players, I think, jump in the portal. They brought in linebacker Mikey Jabair. I hope I said that right. He's from Nebraska. They brought Smith Vilbert in from Penn State on the defensive line. 4-star receiver Adrian Wilson. He had a brief stint with Dion and the Buffs, but now he's in North Carolina. They also brought some answers on special teams. They brought a kicker in, Reese Verhoff from Marshall, and a punter, Jacob Herbath. From Eastern Illinois. So North Carolina's worked the portal. Oklahoma's worked the portal well. We talked about Jay Knott, the Cal running back, last week. He's coming to town. Of course, they got John Mateer, the Washington State quarterback, in the winter portal. That was a huge get. I think Oklahoma's going to be really tough this year. Let's see. Stanford's Jake Maikaula at center. He's coming in for the Sooners. Let's see. Oh, and I'll give Oklahoma credit. They convinced David Stone, the 5-star recruit, to withdraw from the portal, so he's going to stay in Oklahoma. Ole Miss had a good portal class. Like we talked about last week, Trinidad Chambliss, the D2 All-American QB at Ferris State, he's coming to Oxford. They brought in South Alabama's Ricky Fletcher and Clemson's Tavoy Fegan to help their secondary out. We talked about Troy's Damian Taylor also at running back. So good job there for Lane Kiffin, the Portal King, as he likes to call himself. Okay, so I did a little look in the top 3 portal classes as of a few days ago, according to these rankings. I believe this is 247 Sports. Ole Miss is number 3, LSU is number 2, and they've got Texas Tech number 1. Texas Tech's got a loaded class with some playmakers. They spent some money. Texas Tech, they're going all in on 2025, so keep an eye on the Red Raiders. They got the number one portal class right now. Okay, so we're going to shift gears to our next topic. There has been some more talk in the college football playoff. They had meetings again this week, but nothing was announced. There was discussions of the format and a few other things. So what we're going to talk about first, let me pull it up here real quick. We're going to use the ESPN Heather Dinich article. Again, Heather really good at covering the sport in this playoff. Okay, so no major decisions were announced. There is a sense of urgency creeping, though, because they want to have the future decided by December. So that's kind of the deadline on where we're going to go with this playoff in 2026 and beyond. All right, so let me get signed in real quick. I thought I was already signed in. That's crazy. Let's see. Let me try this real quick. Maybe I ain't got to sign in. While I look for this, we will talk about one other part. How about the Rose Bowl, guys? The Rose Bowl is moving its start time up an hour to accommodate this playoff. I didn't think the Rose Bowl would agree to this, guys. This is crazy. But it will start 1 hour normal earlier than it has in the past, which means I believe it's 1 o'clock on the West Coast. It'd be 3 o'clock here because the new playoff schedule is already out for the playoffs. We will have a New Year's Day triple header. You're going to have the Orange Bowl that I'm going to use my time, 12 o'clock here, 3 o'clock the Rose, and then I believe it's 7's the Sugar. So be a nice little triple header. Let's see. My apologies here. I was not prepared for this. Just a second. Let me pull this article up. I thought I had it open already. Tells you how prepared I was. All right. So let me real quick. Hopefully this is right. Just a second. All right. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. So formats. Here's the formats. Here's to talk about the formats. The current 12-team model and another 14-team model. I talked about this last week with these ridiculous auto bids. 4 for the SEC, 4 for the Big Ten, 2 for the ACC and the Big 12, 1 for the G5, and 1 in a large spot or Notre Dame if it's ranked high enough. Those apparently have gained the most publicity. Let's see. So some commissioners would like there to be other options presented. It's also possible league leaders could come to the table with ideas, as there is private and public resistance to the idea of leagues having guaranteed spots. I wonder why, because nobody with a functioning brain wants to see a playoff where a conference gets 4 automatic bids. That is ridiculous. Or even 2. Okay, so before I read this kind of caused an uproar this week, but people were talking about it. There was a thing going around where there was talk about an idea where TV ratings could help determine the playoff field. Well, public came to mind and got a hold of this, and people started freaking out and panicking. Well, some people didn't read the article completely, so I'm going to read it real quick for you. Okay, one possibility which could be viewed as a compromise is having conferences earn automatic bids through their play each year, a model in which each Power 4 league can earn guaranteed spots through a combination of teams' overall records and maybe even ratings. But the highest ranked conferences would earn the most auto bids. Let's see. All right. The Big Ten and SEC, though, have a bulk of control over the future format. A promise of power that was part of the last negotiation. There is some skepticism that any other ideas presented this week would be strong enough to win over the SEC and Big Ten commissioners. Let's see. Okay. Okay. What's the deal with the automatic qualifiers? This just caught my attention. One reason administrators and coaches in the SEC and Big Ten favor it is the possibility of play-in games. We talked about play-in games last week. It works in basketball, and it would be intriguing if you took out the conference title games with these play-in games. But I don't know. Like I say, mixed thoughts. We talked about that last week. Um, Selection committee will stay the same for this season. There is a desire, though, to find a way to modernize it, at least have a more uniform strength of schedule metric that can be referenced by the CFP. Um, while there is no desire to return to a BCS computer system, some have wondered whether there's a way to combine a stronger statistical formula to the human analysis part to better justify elements. But we'll see. Okay. Will the seating system change this fall? Only if everyone unanimously agrees to it. You have to get unanimous agreement. Will they? I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Sources indicate everybody is in the room is in favor, but not everyone is ready to vote in favor. Some want to tie this season into future discussions, possibly as a leverage. All right. So, all right, finally, what is the timeline to answer these questions? There's a self-imposed deadline of this summer. According to sources, a mid-June meeting in Asheville appears to be an opportune time to make a final call. So mid-June, they will meet in Asheville, North Carolina again. Might be the time, might be where we get some clarity on where this thing is going to go. The reality is that nobody wants to be dealing with this when the season starts, and they need time to implement any changes. You think we would like to go ahead and know where this thing's going before the season because we don't want it to overshadow this coming football season. This will be their fourth in-person meeting in 4 months, and each time commissioners have gotten more in depth with the details. The commissioners are being deliberate with this because they know it has a huge impact on the future of the sport, so they don't want to rush decisions. I know everybody wants to know what's going to happen, but I think everybody should appreciate the fact that they're being deliberate about this, says. Yeah, okay. That's what Clark said. Okay. So, anyway, we have more meetings. We don't have nothing official, but keep an eye on the mid June meeting in Asheville, North Carolina. Hopefully, we know where this playoff's going to go by then. All right. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to run to the restroom, catch my breath. I will be back here in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break. And we'll give a shout out to Jimbo at this tattoo shop in South Carolina. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope y'all still hope you're having a wonderful Saturday, of course. All right, so we're gonna jump in real quick. We'll talk about the draft and what's going on there. Let me pull this up real quick. All right. Oh, look, breaking news, and I'll go ahead and discuss this. Shedeur Sanders has finally been drafted. The Cleveland Browns take him at pick 144 at the sixth pick of the fifth round after they've already drafted one quarterback in Dillon Gabriel. I'm just going to say this. The reason I think that Shedeur fell so far in this thing all the way to the fifth round, I think he rubbed some owners and GMs and coaches the wrong way with his attitude. Y'all seen the article from that assistant coach who said that it was the worst interview process he ever had with Shedeur with a player. I think Shedeur's cockiness, I think his his attitude, I think rubbed him the wrong way. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But just my opinion. At least he finally got picked. Who knows where his career is going to go, but he's going to have a chance to earn his position here in Cleveland, and they need a quarterback for the post Joe Flacco era. It'll be Flacco's team this year, but maybe he'll be their guy long term. Who knows? But like I say, I think he has the tools and everything to be a good QB. But it's just the attitude and the mental prospect of it. So I mean, I think he got humbled though by this. I think him and his dad both did. But like I say, I like him. I ain't got nothing against him. But at least he finally got called, right? Okay, so we're gonna go. We'll jump back to the first round. Of course, we're not going to go through all the picks. We'd be here all day. First round, Cam Ward, quarterback from Miami. He's a Tennessee Titan. No shock. I think we all expected that. We've been expecting it for weeks. Will Levis might as start packing his bags, in my opinion. Our first trade was at the second pick. The Jaguars made a trade with Cleveland and took Travis Hunter, the DB receiver from Colorado, your Heisman Trophy winner. I had him my number 2 player in this draft overall. Number 1 was the third pick, and that was Abdul Carter, edge rusher from Penn State. He goes to the Giants. Love this pick. I love this combination. I think he's going to be a star in the NFL for years to come. Super excited for him and super excited for the Giants fans because they're getting a hell of an edge rusher. Excuse my language. Fourth pick, Will Campbell, offensive tackle, LSU. He's a New England Patriot. Mike Vrabel, Patriots' new coach. You knew he was going to work the O-line because Drake May needs protection. So, good pick. Fifth, Mason Graham, the DT from Michigan. He is a Cleveland Brown. They traded down, but that's fine. They still added this guy to go with Myles Garrett. Didn't expect that, but not a bad pick, though. He's a good player. My favorite running back last season, Ashton Jenney from Boise State. He's a Las Vegas Raider. He goes number 6. I think him with Pete Carroll's run first mentality, love it. Love it. Super excited for Ashton. I'm excited for the Raider fans. Seventh pick, Armand Mimbo, offensive tackle, Missouri to the Jets. Good blocker. I like that. Justin Fields is going to be happy. This one kind of surprised people, but Terra McMillan, receiver from Arizona. He goes to the Panthers at 8. I think more people thought Carolina was going to go defense. But hey, Bryce Young gets another weapon. So we'll see how it goes. Number 9, offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas. He goes to my team, New Orleans. We need help on the O-line. I'm not mad at it. Really good tackle. Hopefully he doesn't have no injury trouble. Super excited to have him. It is our 4th first-round offensive lineman in like 5 years, so we'll see how that pans out. This one was a little bit of a surprise. Number 10, Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. He goes to the Bears. I thought Tyler Warren would be the first tight end off the board. No, I was shocked. But hey, this is a good player, good kid. I think he's going to be a nice weapon for Caleb Williams. We'll see how that goes. All right, so that's the first 10 picks. Let's see. Speaking of Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end to the Colts at 14, I had a feeling this was going to happen before the weekend because I knew the Colts needed a tight end. He was a stud at Penn State. And not only a tight end, he played numerous positions. So Colts are getting a nice weapon, whoever their quarterback is. Let's see. A couple of other ones from the first round. The Seahawks, guard Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. Best offensive guard in the draft, according to players when the draft started. Love this kid. Great blocker. Great offensive lineman. I was surprised that he was at the FCS, but it's North Dakota State, so what do you expect? Let's see. Go through a few more here. Matthew Golden, receiver from Texas. He goes to the Packers at 23. Packers finally draft a first-round receiver after 20-something years. Jordan Love will be glad to have him. Got to give a shout-out. Jackson Dart, Ole Miss quarterback, goes to the Giants at 25. I was hoping he was going to go to New Orleans, of course, but hey, I wish Jackson well. He's a baller. The Giants are getting him a good one. He gets to learn from Russell Wilson and the goofball Jameis Winston, so not going to complain there. Rolling on down here a little bit. The Eagles win the Super Bowl, still get numerous picks, and they pick good players. Linebacker Jahad Campbell from Bama, excellent choice. Okay, so that was some from the first round. Let's see, second round. Carson Schwessinger, the UCLA linebacker, went to the Browns as the first pick in the second round, number 33. Good player. I like that call. Let's see. Luther Burden, the receiver from Missouri, went to the Bears at 39. Production dropped off his last year, so kind of wondering what's going on there, but Bears are taking a chance on him. Oh, and the Houston Texans, they take wide receiver Jaden Higgins at 34, and then they took, I guess the other receiver was in the third round from Iowa State, but nice call by Houston. A couple of receivers to go for C.J. Stroud. Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State running back, former Ole Miss running back, he's gone to Cleveland at 36. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle from Texas, to the 49ers at 43. Good pick there to go along with Joey Bosa. Another LSU guy, Mason Taylor, tight end. He went to the Jets just before at 42. Wish that kid well. He was a treat to watch. Let's see. Man, at the edge rushers. Nick Scarlton from Texas A&M goes to the Panthers at 51. I like that pick. Trey Harris, another Ole Miss guy, he goes to the Chargers at 55. Tate Radledge, guard from Georgia, to the Lions at 57. Really, really good lineman. I like that pick. Kudos there. And let's see. RJ, this one kind of shocked me a little bit. RJ Harvey, running back from UCF. He goes to the Broncos at 60, pick 60. I thought Denver would go for Cam Skattebo. I really did not. Cam Skattebo, if you do not know, has went today. He's gone to the Giants. Love that. Super excited for that guy. He is a bull. So that's some of the second round. And then in the third round, let's see. Okay. Harold Finnan Jr., tight end from Bowling Green, to the Browns at 67. Another good tight end most people probably don't know nothing about. Oklahoma State linebacker Nick Martin goes 75th to the 49ers. DB Siobhan Revelle Jr. from East Carolina to Dallas at 76. He obviously got banged up pretty rough last year. Got a bad injury and didn't get to play but a couple games. If he's healthy, I like this pick for the Cowboys. There's the other receiver, Jalen Noel. Yeah, Texans, 2 Iowa State receivers. That's pretty crazy. Bengals guard Dylan Fairchild at 81. I like that. Caleb Johnson. I think this is the steal of the draft. You heard me right. I think he is going to be one of the draft's biggest steals. Running back from Iowa to the Steelers at 83. Ain't going to change colors very much, does he? Like that pick. All right, let's see. Jalen Milroe, quarterback from Alabama, goes to Seattle at 92. Obviously, they brought in Sam Darnold. He is going to be the starter, but I hope they get Jalen Milroe a package, some kind of offensive package for him, because I think they can utilize him still pretty well. Let's see. Caleb Rogers, good tackle from Texas Tech. He goes to the Raiders at 98. Ty Felton, receiver from Maryland, goes to the Vikings at 102. All right, and I know the fourth round is over with, so we'll kind of look at the fourth round real quick. Brashul Tutton, Virginia Tech running back, goes to the Jaguars at 104. There's Cam Skattebo to the Giants at 105. Some good picks. As a Saints fan, I love this at 112. We take Danny Stutzman, the Oklahoma linebacker. Super excited to have him in New Orleans. Trevor Etienne, Georgia running back. He goes to the Panthers. Let's see. Jarquez Hunter, Auburn running back. He goes to the Rams. Let's see. Jack Sawyer, Ohio State edge rusher. He goes to the Steelers at 123. Oh, I did not see this one. Malachi Moore, the safety from Alabama, to the Jets at 130. Oh, Florida State DT Joshua Former goes to the Patriots at 137. So we're in the fifth round, I believe. Yeah, we're in the fifth round. Let's see who's gone off the board just for the heck of it. We talked about Shadur, obviously. Cam Jackson, the Florida defensive tackle, he is gone to the Panthers at 140. Oh, Jordan James, the Oregon running back, he goes to the 49ers at 147. And as of right now, the most recent pick at 150 was DB Jason Marshall Jr. from Florida. He goes to the Dolphins at 150. So that's where we are right now. A couple of teams that I think have done really well in this draft, in my opinion. I'm going to start with the Giants. The Giants have made 4 picks, and I think they've addressed some good needs. You've worked on the D-line with edge rusher Abdul Carter, DT Darius Alexander. You might have your quarterback of the future, Jackson Dart. And then you had a beast at running back in Cam Scatterbo from Arizona State. So I think the Giants have had a good draft. The Patriots, I think, have had a good draft. They've already made 7 selections with the tackle Will Campbell. You also worked on your D-line with Joshua Farmer from Florida State at 35th, and then edge rusher Brady Swinson of LSU in the 5th round. Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State, he goes in the 2nd round. Great pick, I think, to work for the backfield in New England. I think Drake May will love having him. You also get your receiver in Kyle Williams from Wazoo. You got a center, Jared Wilson from Georgia, another offensive line, and then safety Craig Woodson from Cal. So I think they had a good draft. Let's see, and I'll go ahead and mention this one. The Eagles, the Super Bowl champs. They've gone all defense so far. Linebacker Campbell, we talked about him. They got Andrew Makuba, the safety from Texas. You got the DT Ty Robertson from Nebraska, and then DB Mac McWilliams from UCF. So that's just a few teams I think that have done really well in the draft so far. Next week's episode, we'll kind of recap it, and then I'll try to get y'all a list of who I thought had the best, and then some of the head scratching ones. But all in all, it's been a really entertaining draft. Shout out to Green Bay. That has been an awesome city to host this event. I think it goes to Pittsburgh next year. But shout out to Green Bay. That atmosphere has been incredible just for the draft, man. Title Town, baby. Title Town. All right. I'm going to take one more break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into what was, I guess, our main topic today just for fun. My top 10 G5 stadiums. In my opinion, I would love to go see a game at all of these in person. But top 10 G5 stadiums. And then we'll get ready to close with our non-football topic, your favorite drinks, my top 5 drinks. All right, guys, be back here in just a little bit.
Look at me, I'm lost at sea, circling eternally. Come and help me from this here sanity. Where am I disgraced? I hate to see your face. I wanna see you drown in your sorrow. You know I'm not the same. I'm fading away. I'm falling into my grave.
All right, fellas, welcome back. All right, so the main reason that we were going to do this, the main topic of this show was my top 10 group of 5 stadiums. There's some good stadiums in the G5 that I think are really good places to watch a football game at, and hopefully we'll get a chance to go to them one day. Okay, so before I unveil my top 10, shout out to Andrew. He put this graphic together for me. Andrew is awesome at graphics. You the man, buddy. So when coming up with this criteria, I had design, location, and backdrop in mind, and also atmosphere. One thing that really sells me on a stadium is the backdrop, especially in the fall. But let's see, because let's see. I'll go ahead and kind of spill the beans here. I don't think but like one of these stadiums. Well, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. 1, 2, looks like 3 of these stadiums might be in the South, but these are my top 10 stadiums. All right, so here's our graphic. Number 10, we got UFCU Stadium at Texas State. I'm sorry, we got 3 in the South. UFCU Stadium at Texas State, home of the Bobcats. If you can't see it really well, really nicely designed, and this stadium has grown quick just like its program has. At number 9, we got Canvas Stadium at Colorado State, a very young stadium that has not been around for long. Nice backdrop there. Pretty good atmosphere, though. Number 8, we got Williams Stadium at Liberty. I love this stadium. I love its design again. Great atmosphere, great fan base. I have been around Liberty fans. Beautiful campus. Number 7, we got the Glass Bowl at Toledo, my favorite MAC stadium. Very legendary, a great place during MAC games. There is literally, if for those who don't know, there is a rocket on one end of this stadium that is literally aimed at the 25-yard line of their arch rival Bowling Green's field. Thought that was crazy. Okay, number 6, you got the very legendary old Sun Bowl Stadium at UTEP at number 6. That stadium is actually built in the mountains, that in the hills, in the mountains down there toward the Mexico border. That is so cool to me how you could build a stadium in the mountains almost. But the Sun Bowl, obviously legendary, been around a long, long time. Number 5, we got Albertson Stadium of Boise State, home of the blue turf. Idaho, beautiful state. Look at that backdrop at Boise in the fall. I can't imagine how beautiful that probably is. Number 4, Michie Stadium at Army. I almost put this one at number 3. I almost swapped it, but I ended up going with this. Michie Stadium, right on the Hudson River at the U.S. Military Academy. Another stadium that I've been in the fall and the winter is freaking gorgeous. Love that stadium. Number 3, you've got Kidd Brewer Stadium at Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina. Another great backdrop. Maybe the best backdrop in all of college football, and maybe even college sports for that matter. But great little. It's not a huge stadium, but boy, it's a rocking atmosphere when they're at home playing a home football game. Number 2, you got Falcon Stadium at Air Force in Colorado at Air Force Academy. This wasn't the best picture I could get since the renovations of the new Falcon Center that you see in front of you. But this is a simple, basic stadium, but great backdrop with the mountains. And number 1, might get some looks, I don't know. War Memorial Stadium in Wyoming at Laramie. Wyoming, probably my number 2 state I want to go to outside of maybe Alaska, but Wyoming is number 1. Beautiful stadium, nicely built, great backdrop. Power 4 teams don't like going there. Oregon has struggled there. Texas Tech and Ole Miss have lost there. But, yeah, great place to go. And a very nicely done football stadium. So that's my top 10. And just for honorable mention, I will let you know some other stadiums from the G5 that just about made this list, that just missed it. All right. Let's see. Peden Stadium at the University of Ohio. It almost made the list. I thought about James Madison's Bridgeforth Stadium. I thought about the Liberty Bowl at Memphis, even though it's in the works of a huge renovation. So, okay. All right, guys. We're going to transition here to our final topic before we get ready to get out of here. What are your favorite drinks? Non-alcoholic. I stopped drinking years ago. I do not drink alcohol these days. I guess because I just got old. I don't know. But, okay, so I did a top 5 plus an honorable mention for you. At number 5, Zevia. Now, the only reason I'm going to say that honorable mention, that is my number 1 0-calorie, no sugar drink. I love Zevia. It's delicious. Cola flavor is really good. Dr. Zevia. And black cherry, really good drink too also. So, number 5. This was almost a tie, but I'm going to give the win to Sprite. Sprite is crisp, refreshing, and no caffeine. Number 4, the icon, the legendary Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. Number 3, Mountain Dew. A lot of sugar, but it gives you some energy. Number 2, Milo Sweet Tea. Sorry, I got to take this. Milo Sweet Tea at number 2. Sorry, I got to take this real quick. This is personal. All right. Number 2 is Milo Sweet Tea, the Southern icon itself. It's delicious. Maybe the best. And number 1, you can't go against it in my opinion. The number 1 soda, Dr. Pepper. And, of course, associate sponsor of college football. It's delicious. It's the best drink ever. I love Dr. Pepper. I drink way too much of it. I'm not going to lie. Guilty. All right. And finally, All right, so let me go through this one more time. Honorable mention, Zevia. Number 5 is Sprite. Number 4, Coca-Cola. Number 3, Mountain Dew. Number 2, Sweet Tea. And number 1, Dr. Pepper. All right, guys. Thank y'all for checking me out today. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. We'll be back sometime next week. I'll figure out a time as soon as I can and a date and get with Andrew and set it up. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all so much. We're going to close with my Bible verse of the day. Today's verse, Isaiah 9, verse 2. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the light of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Take care, and God bless.
You look at me, you got nothing left